From starring in Heartland on the small screen to saddling up for the Royal Agricultural Winter Fair, my next guest is truly living the cowgirl lifestyle. Please welcome award-winning actor and singer, Amber Marshall. So much for being here.
Thank you for having me on your show.
Oh my gosh, what a delight. When did you get in from Alberta?
Last night.
Last night?
Yes.
Okay. Well, let's chat about the Royal.
Yes.
This marks the 101st year that the Royal Agricultural Winter Fair is on. So what brings you back year after year?
You know, I absolutely love coming to the Royal, and I grew up in Ontario and took the train with my friends to come visit the Royal every year, and to be able to travel back now from Alberta, because that's where I reside now, and be able to take in all the sights and sounds. It really just brings me back to that childhood wonder I had all those many years ago.
Yeah, it's so fun. My family and I always went to it. We weren't really, we didn't go to a lot of big kind of events and stuff, but the Royal every single year.
Oh yeah. I think if you're gonna hit one, that's the one to go to for sure.
It's got butter sculptures. You've got the beautiful, like all the different animals and livestock. There's so much information.
Yeah, and I think that it's really great, especially for people who aren't exposed to a lot of animals in their life, agriculture, to be able to go and experience it.
Totally.
You know, growing up in London, Ontario, I had animals. I was very lucky to have dogs and cats and rabbits and all kinds of things in our household. But to be able to go and appreciate kind of where everything comes from and how our food is grown and raised, I think is really important for everyone to learn.
I agree. Well, if you want to check out the Royal, thanks to them, you're all getting a pair of tickets. Yes! I will see you there because I'm 100% going. It's really so much fun.
Yeah.
Now, we both share a love of food.
Yes.
So you grew up in London, Ontario, and now you live in Alberta, and you talk a lot about the importance of knowing where your food comes from. So tell us a little bit more about that.
I think that there is a disconnect these days. A lot of people live in the city. They don't have exposure to how their food is grown or raised. And for myself, I grew up in the city. So I wasn't living on a farm. I didn't have animals that were producing my food or growing crops or anything like this. And it wasn't until I moved to Alberta and started my own hobby farm and had my own chickens that produced my eggs. You know, we raise our own beef. We are able to actually see that connection between how our food is raised and, you know, what's on our plate at the end of the day. And not everybody has that opportunity. You know, not everyone can have chickens in their backyard or raise a cow. Or, you know, have a milk cow, which I've also been really lucky to have some sweet Jersey cows that I milk, and I'm able to make some, we can talk recipes later.
Oh my gosh, I was gonna say.
So I think that it's really great to be able to see that firsthand. And if you don't have that opportunity, to be able to come to the Royal and see, you know, exactly how what comes from the grocery store is actually made and grown and raised. And I think not just for kids, there's a lot of adults that are disconnected as well. And my own mother, she's hilarious. She always says, I don't want to know. I just don't want to know. And I think there are a lot of people with that mindset. But when you come and you see that, no, this is actually really ethically raised, and Canada has some of the highest standards in the world. And I think it's so important for people to realize that and to know, no matter what your beliefs are, you just learn, just educate yourself about it.
Totally. And I think it's so neat. When I buy products and goods where I recognize where it came from, I have a more thoughtful cook.
Yes.
And you kind of enjoy the food a little bit more.
You appreciate it more.
Because you think about it. It's not just fuel. You think about all the stages.
I believe that's true for myself too. You know, when you put that love and care and dedication into raising an animal, and then you enjoy, whether it be the eggs or the meat or whatever comes from that animal, I don't waste anything.
No.
Because I know that I was out there mucking stalls and clean, and like I put a lot of physical effort of my own in to that final product. And I think that knowing and appreciating that is something that is really important for everyone. Whereas if you just go to the grocery store and buy it and you don't have that appreciation behind where it came from, you know, you might not think twice about throwing out your leftovers.
Totally.
Whereas for me, I make sure that everything is utilized and used and reused. And then whatever waste I have goes back out to the chickens and the animals. And so it just continues that cycle as well.
That's really, really amazing. Well, something else we have in common. I know you've talked about how you had, in addition to food, but you had animals growing up. I hear that you like birds.
I love birds.
I love birds.
Okay.
Amber, oh my God.
I feel like we have a new connection.
I
now.
know. I feel everything you've said. I was like, do you make cheese? You love birds? Oh my gosh.
Can we be best
Yeah, I was
friends?
like, are we best friends? But I hear you want to own a bird, or do you like?
Yeah.
Are
so
you?
ever since I was little, that was the one thing my parents would not allow me to have, and I'm not quite sure why.
Okay.
So growing up, I just loved animals, and
Yeah.
I was very lucky. My parents let me have cats, dogs, rabbits. I had a menagerie of different things.
Yeah.
I had lizards. I
Ooh.
had a chameleon. I had some anoles. I had all kinds of tree frogs.
Yeah.
Whatever it was, they seemed to be okay with. And for some reason, every time I mentioned getting a house bird,
Yeah.
absolute no.
That was a hard no.
They're loud, they're messy, we'll not have one in our house. And so I always thought, okay, well, the first thing I'm getting when I move out
Yeah.
is a bird. Here I am, I've been living on my own for 18 years now. I've had chickens, I've had peacocks, I've had all kinds of crazy outdoor birds.
Yeah.
But I've yet to have a house bird, and it's on my list. But you know what's stopping me
What?
is that I feel like they take so much dedication in the house, and I'm never home.
That's the thing.
So I don't feel that it's fair at this point in my life, but it's on my list, and it's going to happen one day. I can
This
tell
is
you
like
that.
me with my cat. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's like he's like a grumpy roommate who tolerates me. And I love him, and that's what I have time for right
Yeah.
now. And we have such a great little relationship, I think. Yeah, yeah.
You hope.
I hope.
You hope. On
I
your
really hope he
side, for
likes me.
sure.
Yeah.
And I think that's what, because anytime I bring a new animal into my home or
Yeah.
onto my farm, I want to make sure that they're happy
Yeah.
and that they have all their needs met. And so I feel like all the animals I have, they have each other and they love each other.
Yeah.
And, you know, my cats are always playing and grooming one another. So I don't
Yeah.
feel as guilty if I'm not home. 'Cause
Totally.
They have each other. And same thing. So it's, when I look at a house bird, I'm like, well, I don't really want to get two because then they just won't like me.
That's true.
Right.
They're gonna be like,
They're
you're not a bird.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I want one, and I want it to bond with me, but you kind of have to be home for that.
That's
so
true.
That's why I'm waiting. I'm making the, very appropriate decision. Of,
The adult decision.
yes, I'm adulting.
Well, you mentioned though you moved to Alberta and you've moved out about 18 years ago. So I just wanted to touch really quickly on Heartland. Season 17, over 250 episodes.
Yes.
What's it like being part of something that's had this type of longevity? Because that's so rare.
It is so rare, and it was so unexpected, I guess, because when I first signed up for this show, I didn't know it was going to go more than a year or two.
Yeah.
And each year we're renewed. We don't know how long we're going to go.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, I'm waiting to see, are we going to go again? Are we not? And fans are continually loving what we're producing. So, I mean, I'm happy to do this show as long as fans want the show to keep going. It's right up my alley. I couldn't imagine something more tailored to my life.
Yeah.
And that's a dream job. That's what everybody hopes for, is that what you're doing and what you're getting paid for is something that you actually really genuinely love doing. And I
That's-
still do.
Honestly, it's so inspiring and it's so lovely. And fans of it is such a loved show. And it's clear that you have such a close connection with Amy, your character, and with the land that you shoot on.
Yeah. And I do believe that that's part of why I embrace it so much is that I'm kind of living that life every day. And so the fact that I get to go to work and continue just my everyday life, but yet that's my job.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It's very pinch me. 100%.
It is.
Yeah.
And still, after 18 years, of 17 years, seasons, and 250 episodes, and the fact that I still am just eating it up, that's really, really nice and special.
It really
it's something
is.
that doesn't happen every day.
No. Well, Amber, it was such a delight chatting with you and meeting you. Thank you so, so much. And good luck with everything. Good luck at the Royal. We'll see you there. Hey, Mary here. What did you think? Drop your comments below and don't forget to like and subscribe for more of the good stuff.